You looking at me? So I've been patiently waiting for my print to come off the printer, and I'm just going to try to bring it over without dripping it too much on lots of things. So I've just got a bit of foam here, so I'm just going to put that build plate there. I just want to show you, again, if you're doing this, lots of blue roll. It does seem to be a horrible sticky stuff, and that's what I'm seeing so far. And this is 100 micron print. This is the fastest you can do, but it looks pretty good actually. I know it's missing an awful lot of detail, but again, there's an awful lot more detail than you'd expect, and it is absolutely tiny. I mean, look at that, that's the size of my finger there. But I'm just going to clean it up now. So the first thing I think I need to do is get it off here, and I'm not quite sure how, so I'm just going to go for a blade, my Vorpal blade, and trying not to scratch the plate really. I don't want to damage the plate. Later designs though, if you look at the latest version of this printer, this is the 1.4B, and they're on the version 1.5. I think they've changed the build plate design slightly, and instead of being anodized on the bottom like this one is, they've actually just machined it flat. So I could probably technically get this and just rub it off some, get a piece of glass and stick a DA pad onto it. It's like a sandpaper pad, and then just sort of machine that down that way, smooth it out as if you're doing a head on a car or something, and then it would certainly be easy to rework if you did scratch it. I can see this lifting slightly. You can see there's a little bubble of lift, and if I can get something under that edge, it'll probably go, but at the same time I'm worried about breaking it. But let's see if I can just squeeze a flat screwdriver or a spludger. I've got a little screwdriver, let's try that before the spludger, it's going to act a bit more as a wedge. So resiny. Again, filthy creature. Look, you can see it there, the bubble is growing. Oh, and it's gone, it's off. Right, so I'm going to, so slimy. Just leave it there for now. I'm just going to get this whole bed out of the way. And in fact, if you don't mind excusing me for 2 seconds, I'm just going to put the lid on the machine again, because I don't want to leave that vat of UV cure resin exposed, because it might just start curing and get all lumpy or something. I mean, I don't really know what it does, but we don't want it doing it. So that's the object. It's looking pretty good, so I want to clean it. So what I'm going to do, I've got this sort of measuring beaker, which is kind of expensive for this purpose, but it'll do for now. We just got them sitting in the bottom. Got a little splash here, the old isopropyl alcohol. And you can always keep your little container, just put a lid on it, and then that way you can reuse this juice, because you're going to want to. I'm just giving it a little stir, a little swish. Oh, it's looking pretty nice now. That's actually sharpened up the detail slightly, because we're obviously looking at some of the sort of resin bubbles. Now while that's doing its thing, I'm just going to leave this over in the corner here on the back of his desk and have a little clean up, because again, you want to clean up as you go along, because you've got like computers and CAD stuff, you've got lots of stuff all in the same sort of area. Wow! Wowee! Just want to show you, remember that UV resin that's spilt? It's actually turned into a hard solid sheet. Crikey, that's gone hard. Now I'm really shocked, because I didn't know that the LED lights, I thought the LED lights I have here in the back office don't emit UV, but clearly they do. So yeah, you want to definitely then cover up your thing. That's awesome though, because that also means I could probably just cure this by leaving it sat on the bench. But I wanted to show you a different way I'm going to cure it, because I've had, or my wife has had, for a long time, this thing's sitting around, which is a UV lamp for gel nails. So I'm just going to plug it in. Ooh. So just to show you what that looks like, it's like a kind of a container for your hands for doing your nails. But if you turn it on and convince it to come on by pushing the various buttons, there you go, UV. And it doesn't, it's weird, on the camera it looks like it's blue, but it's definitely purple. And what I'm going to do is just basically pop this here, and you could, I got this, well I didn't get this, my wife got this, but I pinched it off her for retro brighting, to do sort of portable retro brighting, but I think it's going to serve a good purpose, and that'll be the same as, well, and I say a good purpose, another purpose. I mean, retro brighting is good, of course, if you want to retro bright something, but I just want to clean this thing off, and I'm going to pop it through here. And this is on, and it's got a timer, and it'll go on. You can set the timer for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and there's a fan even, circulate air. In fact, I'm going to leave the fan on because I want it to, you know, circulate the air to remove all of the isopropyl alcohol. So I'm just going to slide that in just like that, sitting on its base under the lights right in the middle. And we'll leave that there for a few minutes and then come back to it. It's like a little strange disco for Viking miniatures. It's been through 2 cycles now, so I'm just going to try to take it out by hand. It doesn't. It's not. It's kind of not sticky. It does feel like slightly soft, but maybe really it just needs to dry out, or maybe it does need a bit more curing. But I think it's all right. Let's just get this out of the way anyway. If it's kind of anything like my other resining things where I use, you know, just regular resin, he says, looking around, but just to show you, I do have some bits lying around, whereas these are sort of pucks, resin pucks of things left over. Not this one's a big experimental one, and they all kind of feel a bit sticky, and they tend to, you know, after a little while just get firmed up and really sort of cure up like that. There you go. You can put that as a little base there. Oh no, but there's a sticky thing on that thing. Let's see if we can figure out what's sticky on this. Maybe I'm imagining it. So I'm just trying to clean it there. There was a little bit of detritus. Oh, making it worse. Let's dunk it in the our jelly baby fluid again. Right. So let's take a closer look at this thing. In fact, it's only isopropyl. It won't hurt you. Right. So yeah, that looks absolutely amazing. It's hard to tell, but with the eye up close with the eye, you've got like these little spikes. It might just, there we go, you can see them there on the shoulders. You see those little spikes? There's the detail of that, and I don't think you're really going to be able to appreciate the detail until it's primed, but you can see in the light as I roll it around, definitely a lot of nice looking detail there, but I'll let this dry out. But I think I'm going to do, I think we need to compare it to a higher res print, same size, but I tell you what, even at the lowest resolution, and that was about 2 hours print, that looks stunning. I mean, considering you could fill the whole tray with these, you could print like, I don't know, 15, 20 of them in one go. You could have your own little army if you're into playing AD&D or something, and you needed a load of skeletons or something like that. But look at that. It's quite interesting, this sort of translucent material. But I'll leave it there, and we'll do a little comparison in a moment. So I've actually got the new piece here, so there's the old one, and the new piece is actually inside the old cleaning fluid. So I just took it off in much the same way. The only difference, if you see that piece of foam just there, in fact I'm going to take that out of the UV light, I'm just going to turn the UV light on properly. That piece of foam, I actually smeared more of the resin on it on purpose. You can see it's got that shine, and that's going to act as our sort of test piece to ensure. There are little new character goes in there to ensure that the UV light from here doesn't get on that, because we want to see if the resin sets on this piece of foam just from the back office illuminated lights. You can see my hand's very illuminated there. It's LED lighting. We'll just see what happens with that. We'll come back in 10 minutes and see how we got on. Right, let's get these out of here. Nice, we'll have a look at those in a moment. And this thing here, definitely looking a bit crunchy, so be careful of that. Don't leave your resin out in the sun. So, I'll don't think we're going to probably paint these up in this vid anyway, so let's just have a closer look for now. And we'll I want to do a bit of research before finishing these, just to make sure they can be. So just looking in the camera, I'm just going to hold just to see if there's different things to contrast behind them. It's better. Maybe it's better there with a bit of white. So I'm looking through the lens of the camera, pretending I'm you at home, and I can't tell which is which. So I'm just going to eyeball these up with me human eye, and you know what? It bloody is hard to tell. I might hang on. I'd say the one on the right is the finer one, because I can actually see on the one on the left. I can just about see maybe Slave and Feel the ridges. And then the one on the right, it's like glassy. You really can't. But look at that. It is bloody close, isn't it? Really is. It's phenomenal. And I kind of fancy that I can see maybe some horizontal banding in that, but I just don't think with the technology you get the sort of horizontal banding. I think the sort of resin is very gloopy. And if you think about it, think about what's happening exactly. You've got this light source, so you've basically got a, let's see how this will work. Oh no, my pen is drying up. So imagine you've got something that looks like a funnel, or you don't really have to imagine it too much because I'm drawing it for you, but you've got something that looks like a funnel, and on the bottom you've got a UV lamp. This is pretty much how this works, and then on the top you've got a TFT panel, right? So the panel is showing black, and where it's showing black, nothing's showing through, and then it's just showing in white the outline of a layer, and then that's letting the light shine through. Okay, that's great. And there's probably a lot of calibration required to make sure it's focused upon the plate. That's probably why these projector ones are quite small, because how do you ensure that that picture is uniform across there? In fact, I suppose you can ensure it because it's the TFT. It's going to be really uniform, so I'm talking crap. Anyway, so what I'm imagining, when the photons are hitting that, so you've got this TFT screen. I'm drawing it sideways on now, right? So the photons are coming in, and then I'm going to use a different colour to represent the resin layer. So you've got this as a layer of resin, and then you've got your build plate here. So that's that, you know, metal thing that you see moving up and down that it sticks to. So I kind of feel that as this is getting drawn up, and let's say now you've got it doubly thick, I kind of think even as the light hits this and activates the resin, it's kind of glowing. It's glowing around. So even though it's one pixel it's letting through, the surrounding area around that pixel's also glowing. So you're getting this kind of you imagine it's like this. You're getting these circles overlapping, like a Venn diagram, right? So instead of pixels like this, you're getting pixels doing this. Yeah? So even though your pixels might be X microns away from each other, when you have this, they're kind of overlapping, and that's creating a much smoother finish. So you can imagine here you've got this kind of wavy finish going on, and here though you're having a much finer wave, and I think that's what happens. So that's on the sort of horizontal, and in vertical it only has to move up the 35 microns, so that's adjustable pretty much. Either way, I think they look cracking. Stay tuned for a future video, not too far into the future, where I'll just have a go at painting these. And I do have some metal paints. You'll see I've got an unboxing. We'll have a look at those. And I really like the idea of trying to paint these with metal paints. So we're going to give it all a go. So I hope that's been of some use to you. If you've been sitting on the fence about the Duplicator 7, it's not without issues. There's a little bit of fiddling and fettling, but then that's the same with all 3D printers. But clearly, even me, with my lack of patience in such things, I could, achieve this result and be pretty pleased with it. And imagine if you scale this up to the full size of the bed, it would have so much detail, it'd be unbelievable. So, as ever, guys, thank you for watching.